Hello, everybody, and welcome to Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts. From the year 2013. Call of Duty Ghosts was developed by Infinity Ward and published, as all the Call of Duty games are, by Activision. Call of Duty Ghosts was a launch title for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 generation of consoles. It has a sort of near future science fiction aesthetics to it, sort of continuing the futuristic trend in Call of Duty begun in Black Ops 2, and which would be developed further in later installments of the series, like Advanced Warfare, Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, and so on. We find ourselves in Alaska here on the map Whiteout. The description for this map reads, satellite fall is projected to hit this Alaskan fishing village. And on this map there is a special kill streak which summons a falling piece of satellite. And it's been a while, but I believe it acts as a UAV for your team. Call of Duty Ghosts is set in a world where major cities in the southern United States have been devastated by a superweapon that is suspended in orbit around the Earth. The premise of Call of Duty Ghosts campaign is honestly a little silly to me. But I don't know, I mean, the Call of Duty campaigns are often a little out there. I actually enjoyed the campaign. I mean, I thought it was kind of fun, but it was a little silly. Basically, the oil producing states in the Middle East, I think the oil dries up, or they go to war there and the oil isn't, being produced anymore. And so South America becomes this, like, autocratic uni-state thing off the backs of South American oil production. And then, meanwhile, the United States has constructed this superweapon in space that, if I remember correctly, shoots basically massive steel rods, or probably not steel, massive metal rods of some kind. And just cause, massive detonations on Earth when they hit. And so, this South American, I forget what it's called, I think it's called the Federation. The Federation captures this American military installation and turns it against America, devastating a number of their southern cities on the border with Mexico. And that kicks off a war between the U.S. and the South American Federation. So yeah, kind of goofy for a lot of reasons, but not too insane for a Call of Duty game, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I think I take that back. The thing with the Call of Duty campaigns, for me, is that, also sorry I haven't been commenting on the map at all. I quite like this map. I like the, how you're like in this Alaskan fishing village with the coastal waters all full of ice floes and the snow everywhere. Access Road 10. And we have, I don't know, some sort of ski lodge or something out there in the distance. Probably not a ski lodge here, just a hotel. Snowmobiles and snow clearing equipment may be encountered. Warning. Yeah, the thing with the Call of Duty campaigns for me is that they're often, I don't know, when they depict other countries as these like insane villains compared to America, it always feels a little silly to me. I think the Call of Duty campaigns work a little better when it's, following like terrorists like Makarov from the Modern Warfare series. The idea of South America just unifying into this one state is just very cartoonish to me. And then there's all this stuff in the games campaign about like brainwashing, and people get brainwashed and, turn on the side of the people that brainwashed them, and it's very like comic book or something. Which isn't, a terrible thing necessarily. You just have to, I don't know, accept it for what it is and just have fun on the ride. But, with all that being said, I do think the campaign is kind of fun. Exposed conveyor can start at any time. Moving parts can cut and crush. We have a sawmill here. Caution, this machine starts automatically. I don't have too much to say about the campaign though. It's not incredible, but I did enjoy it well enough for what it was. Porter Premium Dark Beer. Go dark side. Ghosts. It did end on a cliffhanger, but a sequel was never picked up, so the game will forever remain kind of unresolved, the storyline anyways. The multiplayer was also kind of interesting. They did some interesting things with it, and I actually quite liked the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. There was some interesting new ideas they tried. The most significant one that stands out to me was the field orders system. We've got some saw blades here, packaged up in this sawmill. The field orders system in multiplayer was a system in which a briefcase would be spawned on the map, and you could run over to the briefcase and collect it, and it would give you a little mission, and the mission would be something like kill an enemy while you are crouched, or kill an enemy with an explosive weapon, stuff like that. Little mini objectives. And looks like a swordfish here, hung up below the window. We have a nice little home here. Fireplace, magazines, barrel. First look, 24 gauge. This one says hazy outlook on the water, bow and stern, your premier guide to canoes and canoes accessories. The inspirational story of how one man paddled across the Hudson Bay in his wheelchair. Okay. Canoes and canoe accessories. I sell propane and propane accessories. Is anybody else going to be watching the new season of King of the Hill with me? I loved that show. Very excited for the new season. The trailers look pretty good. But yeah, as I was saying, the field orders gave you an objective, and if you completed the objective, you got a care package marker, and it would drop a kill streak for you. Nice fireplace here, very cozy. I grew up in an area where winters were very cold and snowy. A box of cigars here. And my house had a wood-burning fireplace. And we would heat our house with that fireplace in the winter. And it was so cozy. Sitting by the fire, coming in from the cold and going over to the roaring fireplace. Now it was also a source of great agony as a child, because of course, my brothers and I all had to contribute to the house, naturally, doing chores and such. And so we would often be given log duty by our father. and also bringing the wood inside over to a smaller rack by the fireplace so that wood would be easily accessible for putting into the fire, and so that, our mom could get the wood in comfort if she ever needed to restock the fireplace. Looks like they were playing poker in the kitchen. So we would often get pretty chilly going out there and doing the woodwork out in the snow. And then of course hauling it in whenever we needed to restock the wood rack by the fireplace. But that's just chores, Somebody had to do it. But yeah, the field orders will give you a kill streak, and I always thought that was a fun little system, adding this extra objective on top of your regular gameplay to get a little extra reward. And what was also cool was they had map-specific kill streaks that you could only get from the field orders. Sherman Fisheries. I'm assuming that says Sherman, it's hard to tell with the snow. Established 1966. So now we're in the village proper here. Smith and Heft. I'm not familiar with that name. Not sure how to pronounce that. 24-hour snow removal service. Snow and ice removal. We're always up when the snow comes down. So on this map, for example, the special kill streak that you could get from the field orders is that falling satellite piece I mentioned earlier. I forget exactly what it does. I think it was a UAV for your team, but I could be wrong. I do not know what I'm looking at here. These large silos with a sort of a grate section cut out of them. I don't know what those are. But other maps had other unique kill streaks, and some of them got pretty wacky actually. At the time, I enjoyed the silliness of some of what they did. For example, in one of I think the first DLC pack, it's one of those fish with both eyes on one side of its head. Is that called a flounder? I'm not a great knower of fishes. Ichthyologist, would that be what you would call that? But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I like these offshore oil rigs out there. Provide a nice element to the horizon. Harbor Master. Yeah, I think in the first DLC pack, they released a map that was sort of horror movie themed. Like, well, I mean, it is horror themed in general. And the special kill streak on that map was that you could become, I think it was Michael Myers. It might have been Jason Voorhees. I'm trying to. No, I'm pretty sure it was Michael Myers. When you completed the field order, you could become Michael Myers and run around with a knife and, attack people in melee. And I thought it was kind of fun that Ghosts didn't take itself too seriously, as the Call of Duty games had always done before. They were very, very serious games. And that's fine, of course. But I thought it was a nice change of pace for Ghosts to introduce a little, I don't know, a bit of a sillier element, a bit of a, just a more fun, arcadey kind of element. Alaskan king crab processing. Now, seen where Call of Duty has gone since then, where it is extremely, well, I was going to say goofy, but it's not even really that it's goofy. It's just that it is overloaded with skins and content from, any number of sources. I mean, you can play as Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg and, aliens and undead monsters and all sorts of stuff. And it's just, I don't know, it doesn't even have an identity anymore, really. Because of all of those microtransaction options. And so, in retrospect, Call of Duty Ghosts being kind of silly seems like an early warning sign, perhaps, for that type of content. But, I don't know. I still have a fondness for this game and its multiplayer. I thought it was nice that it took a bit more of a lighthearted tone. Yeah, some of the other wacky ones were, you could become an undead, revolver-wielding mariachi guy. You could become a predator, like from the movie Predator. You could summon, like smoke monsters or something as allies. You could summon undead pirate ghosts. So, there were a lot of goofy things in the game. But I thought it was kind of fun. So, oh, there's a little snowman there. Sherman Fisheries. Yep, we got a big icebox storage. We have a big king crab sign here. Alaskan king crab processed at Sherman Fisheries. And a big carved wooden pole here. A totem pole. Would you call this a totem pole? Is that where are totem poles from, like, culturally? I don't know. I mean, this certainly a stack of heads. I mean, this is a totem pole, right? I'm not sure about the origin of the term, and if this is like, you know, actually accurate to call it that. But let's move on from Whiteout and find ourselves in a new map. Stonehaven. Stonehaven. And this map's description reads, fight amidst a ruined castle in the Scottish Highlands. Open layout allows for long-distance engagements. And open layout is certainly correct. This is a very large map, and the sightlines are very long. But yeah, here we are in Scotland. And this map is kind of centered on these old ruins, this ruined castle, and these surrounding ruins that are much more crumbled than the castle itself. There's also a small village, and like an active village that makes up the other portion of the map. So, I really like wandering around old ruins, like in real life. Crumbling old buildings and stuff. Oh, and over here we have a crashed piece of satellite. So if I remember correctly, the super weapon that I told you about in the campaign that was up in space was destroyed after it was used to fire on America. And its ruined pieces have fallen in various places around the globe, so I think that's what that wreckage is. This is a fun little piece here. This gate here, you can shoot it to lower the gate and seal off this entrance. But then you can use explosives to blow the gate open permanently. So there's some dynamic elements to some of the Ghosts maps. Welcome to the St. Dalby Highlands tourist route. To the left you can go to the hill, and this is St. John Castle, apparently, according to that sign. The multiplayer of CoD Ghosts was kind of the last one that I played somewhat seriously. I think I'm trying to go over it in my mind because Advanced Warfare came out after this, and I didn't really play much of that multiplayer. And then Black Ops 3, I didn't really play much of that. I didn't play Infinite Warfare. I think it wasn't until Black Ops Cold War that I came back to CoD multiplayer a bit more. Even then, not very much. Mostly just playing sort of variant game modes like zombies and prop hunt and stuff. Or wait, now that I think about it, I also played CoD World War II, which came out after this, so I did come back for that one a bit because the World War II setting intrigued me. And if you're curious about that game, I did recently do a CoD World War II map exploration video, which you can find on the channel. A lovely sea arch out there. Alright, let's go back into, not sure if this is like a dungeon here in the castle. There are some cage doors here, but these might just be blocking off, I don't know, little armory sections or something. They do look like little prison cells though, don't they? I have never been to Scotland, although I would love to. I actually have a sort of, I don't know, fondness for Scotland because my family has some Scottish blood. And for whatever reason, I mean, my family has a lot of blood. I'm a classic American mutt. I just have, you know, ancestry in a dozen different places. I've got some Mexican in me, Italian, Irish, Scottish, English, Native American, let's see, English culture, Lim, Karen, her, Lucinda, 1862 to 1900, inventor of entertainment, lived here in 345. What? Okay. That does not make much sense. Sunset view for so yeah, I have a lot of ancestry all split up all over the place, but for some reason our Scottish heritage was emphasized a little more when we were kids in my family. So we had kilts when we were little boys, me and my brothers, and just had, you know, I don't know, it was just emphasized by our parents a little more that we were Scottish than any of our other ancestry. I don't really know why, to be honest. I think our name comes from our Scottish heritage, actually. Which, you know, I won't say for privacy reasons, but maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I should ask my parents about that. Why were we sort of emphasizing our Scottishness when we were kids? Anyway, that's all just to say that I have this sort of fondness for Scotland from my childhood. The story of Cerro's Castle, the shortest sea crossing between new land and the continent. Cerro's Castle has a long and immensely eventful history, many centuries before King Philip II began. The Great Stone Castle here in the 1140s, a spectacular sight atop the famous Ghost Cliffs and so on. What does this all mean? The Cerro's Castle exterior view. The King Valinda II. I don't think that's a real person. The shortest sea crossing between new land and the continent. This is like weird. This doesn't. It feels like this was like run through a translator a couple times or something. So, yeah, I would love to visit Scotland one day. I don't know, do any of you feel any weirdness about, like, identification with some other culture when you were being raised. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like my parents raised me with this sort of Scottish identification, I guess. Like part of your identity is that you're Scottish. But like I'm not really Scottish. I mean, I've never been there. I don't know what it's like there. I don't know what kind of problems they face and what they value. We didn't eat Scottish cuisine or listen to Scottish music or whatever. We just sort of identified a little bit as Scottish and, wore that as part of our identity as a family. But, I don't know, it feels stolen in a weird way. No climbing on cliff. Just because we have some Scottish blood in our history, we don't really have any connection to Scotland other than the fact that our parents, my parents emphasized our family's history there. And they would dress me in a kilt sometimes and stuff like that. Not that I think it's a problem or something necessarily. But yeah, it just feels a little weird where I'm what is my relationship to this part of my identity, because it was emphasized in my childhood, and in a sense I felt Scottish growing up, but I have no connection to actual Scottish people, right? Does that make sense? Just a weird little thing. Explore Lord Dobby. Bracamonte's island's capital is home to Cerro's Castle, founded by Lord Dobby, which overlooks the ruins from an extinct cliff view. That's just its own sentence for some reason. See the national treasure, Del Rosario's crown, before admiring some of the oldest English decorations at Cerro's Castle in the Great Hall. To the left, original map of overview, Bracamonte's Island, discovered by explorer Limher. That is not to the left. To the right, portrait of Lord Dobby. Okay, this is, I don't know, these signs read wait, what? Saxian Castle? I thought this was Cerro's Castle. None of this makes any sense. Sorry, I'm just pondering why these signs are so weird. They're not even written in semi-proper English. They're very strange. It feels like something from another language that was translated through Google Translate into English. And then not proofread by anybody on the team. There was somebody, and I'm sorry, I don't remember their name, but there was somebody on my, was it Advanced Warfare? Yeah, it was my Advanced Warfare video. The map in Korea, they kindly translated all of the Korean language text that was everywhere around that map, and were pointing out how strange and nonsensical a lot of it was. And, I thought that was funny because with Call of Duty being as big of a franchise as it is, it just feels like there would be no excuse for having inaccurate language, signage and stuff, because of course you could hire a Korean contractor, just to, write the signs and design it for you. You don't have to feed it through some terrible translator. United States. This is some wreckage of that Odin, I believe it was called Odin, super weapon thing. But apparently even these signs written in English here were not worth the effort to proofread, because they are written very strangely. So, regardless of, we don't even know if this is Lord Dobby's castle or Serral's castle or whatever that one sign called it, like Kikimund Castle or something. I can't remember exactly. I have been to England, and I went to Tintern Abbey, which is a very famous crumbled stone abbey. It was very beautiful. I just love this old ancient masonry and brickwork, stonework. It's so fantastical and strange, right? It's just alien to our modern world. It's the sort of thing from storybooks and ancient history textbooks and stuff, and then all of a sudden you turn a corner in London or whatever, and you see some piece of Roman wall that's like, 2,000 years old. It's pretty remarkable, pretty interesting, and not something that you really get in America. Although, in New England for sure, there's plenty of stuff that's 300 years old. But 300 years old compared to 2,000 years old or even more, it's a pretty big difference, right? Anyway, yeah, this map, I remember not caring for it so much when I played this game. In general, I prefer close and medium range combat, and so this map with its very, very long sightlines allowed for lots of sniping and such, which is not my forte nor my preference. But I certainly like the design. I love walking through these old ruins, stopping by in this little village nearby, seeing the castle off in the distance. It's very cool. Yeah, I talked about this in another one of my videos, but just walking around in these maps, recording these videos, it honestly kind of makes me sleepy sometimes. There's something very peaceful and meditative about it. But anyway, let's move on, what do you say, to another Call of Duty Ghosts map and see what we can see. Welcome to the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, to the map Prison Break, a prison deep in the jungle. Clever tactics give the stealthiest of players the advantage in hunted matches. Reads the description of this map. So here we have a prison, of course, as the description says, a prison of the Federation. I think it's called the Federation, but I don't remember for sure. Peligro, zona de construcción, usar cascos, tensión, carbonado, construcción. Pardon me, I really don't know Spanish language pronunciation or how to speak it at all. I'm quite uneducated on that front, so maybe I shouldn't even bother trying, and so I don't embarrass myself. But maybe you who do speak Spanish can get a laugh out of it at least. So here we are in the jungle, of course, and there's a large waterfall off in the distance there. This looks like a pretty scenic area. And the water travels down this way. So let's keep following the cliff line. We have a truck here with a large bed. And, oh, that's gorgeous. All these hills and mountains in the distance. Oh, there's a city off there in the distance as well. Interesting. Sort of felt initially like this was some prison deep in the middle of nowhere. But apparently not. Not too far from civilization. A road there with, looks like a bridge. Let's see if we can get a better angle on that. Yeah. A bridge there. Is this a trestle bridge? This is what you call a trestle bridge. What is a trestle? I think this is a trestle bridge, but I'm not an engineer. I could be using the name wrong. Oh, there go the birds. Parakeets, or those are parrots. A little tower over there, a little satellite tower thing, radio tower, something like that. Another thing that I liked about this game was that it incorporated the various kinds of kill streaks, which was first pioneered, I believe, in Modern Warfare 3, where there were some kill streaks that you could choose the type of kill streak that you got, whether it was you had to get a certain number of kills without dying, or if it would track your progress over multiple deaths, or you could do the specialist one where you gained more perks as you got more kills. And I just like that system. I like the variety of kill streaks. How there's different kill streaks in each of the categories. And, I was a reasonably okay Call of Duty player but I was never amazing. I think I usually averaged around like a 1.5 to 2 KD. In the games that I was a little better at, I would be closer to 2. And in the ones that I was a little worse at, I'd be closer to 1.5. So, not amazing, but could kind of hold my own in general. So I liked the kill streaks that let me maintain my progress even when I died, because it allowed me to get fun abilities even when I wasn't playing my best. We have a little stacked pyramid of barrels here. A little wooden bridge over a small creek, which drains down into this large waterfall, down into this river down there, which snakes between the hills of this jungle and disappears off into the distance. We have some barges down there. One barge and another one covered in long pipes. Well, the other barge is empty. See if I can get a nice look at these parrots or whatever they are. Get a nice look at one of the little groups of them flying up over the horizon. See here. A lot of this map is mostly jungle. For a minute I thought that a map called Prison Break would probably be like in a prison, at least partially, but not really. You can't even get inside, I think. That's quite a view, isn't it? Very beautiful. The campaign of Call of Duty Ghosts. Oh. What is this? Look at, oops, that's not the crouch button. There we go. Little ice cream barrels here. Barrels with a little smiling ice cream cone on them. I hope they're not full of ice cream because it's probably melted out here in the sun. Out here in the jungle heat. I was just going to say that the name of the game, Call of Duty Ghosts, is, it ties into the campaign where you end up joining this, like, U.S. secret operative force called the Ghosts. Campaña meteorera asociados con la naturaleza para construir un mejor futuro. Sorry. Oh, I love that icon, the saw blade that looks like a rising sun or a sunset. Kind of a funny logo. Looks like a lot of logging going on here. Some smoldering brush on the ground. And this whole section of the forest has been clear cut, it looks like. I'm not sure if this is for, just for resource purposes, or if they are clearing for expansion of the prison or something. But there are some uncontained fires out there. Looks a little dangerous. Yeah, in the campaign, you find out that the Federation has secretly built another super weapon, like the one that they took over from America before it was destroyed. And you end up getting onto it, or taking it over, and turning it against the Federation's armies, and sort of annihilating their armies. But then at the end of the game, oh, okay, sorry, I'm just like dumping spoilers into this without warning, but anyway, spoiler warning for the end of the game. For a game that's like 12 years old. At the end of the game, your character's brother is kidnapped by the brainwashed enemy. The main villain is this guy who used to be in the Ghosts. And he was brainwashed to join the Federation. And so he kidnaps your brother at the end, and the implication is that he's going to go take your brother and brainwash him so that he then joins the Federation. So it was quite the cliffhanger. Also this little Jeep or Humvee or whatever is sort of half falling off that rock face. A little waterfall here. Some wooden bridges or little ramps leading upward. Logs under a tarp, giant tires. The logging operation over there again. But let's go check out in the direction of the prison itself. Even though we can't go inside, we can see how close we can get. Just hop down here. There's a little water pipeline here, a little drain pipe. This kind of thing always reminds me of the scene in Lord of the Rings, in the Two Towers, where the Uruk-hai runs with a big torch into the drainage channel and throws himself in to blow it up. Do you pronounce the L or no? Care package number 1 and number 2 since 2003. So care package, probably a little Call of Duty joke there with the care package kill streak, and also 2003, I believe, being the year when the first Call of Duty was released. Interrupter principle. Got some controls there. A cement mixer truck. All these little trailers and such. Like there's a workstation out here, clearly in the middle of a construction. Alto. We have the prison in here through this gate. And this little guard shed. These consoles and a computer over here. 7/8 painted on the wall. Some left over from the construction. And here we have, seems to be a building under construction. Part of the construction going on here with a circular saw, handheld saw over there. The workers are gone. We have the place to ourselves. Let's go upstairs here. Let's go upstairs. Let's go upstairs. So on the second floor, we can see that it's all still under construction. A guard tower up above, a little watchtower. The flags of the Federation. Some pipes. The ceiling unfinished. Ceiling unfinished. Penitenceria 18. The prison's dead before we get caught. Let's go to our next map. What do you say? What do you say? Welcome to Caracas, Venezuela. To the map, free fall. Survive a falling skyscraper. Frenetic close quarters action that shifts underfoot. La Nueva Marca. Sorry again for my pronunciation. So Caracas here is very sort of neon futuristic. We've got a male model here advertising whatever that is. And this woman here lying on her back with her feet in the air. The 1H Hotel. The 1H Hotel. And we are high in this crumbling skyscraper, but we can look far below down to the streets and see a variety of vehicles down there. All just these little flat objects, the headlights. Oh, some of the cars are on their side. Uh-oh. Things look pretty bad down there. I like seeing these little assets off in the distance. Just these almost like these two-dimensional cardboard cutout looking little models. This map is kind of cool. As you can see, we're way up on this crumbled skyscraper here, all this damage. You can see where this used to be attached up there. But the map as you play, and I don't think it'll happen here because I have the time limit set to infinite. I'm not sure regular match, the map actually continues to collapse over the course of the match, and it changes the layout of the map. And a couple of points in the match, so sort of a dynamic map. Ghosts has a handful of dynamic maps. Things change on them. You can destroy things, change things, and sometimes the maps just change naturally. But what's really cool about this map is how everything is on its side. So we're in this bathroom and all of the urinals and toilets are on the ceiling now, draining all their water. And we are walking along what used to be the wall of this place. There's the door to the bathroom above us. We can hop through this hole in the wall. And we are now in some sort of little office or library or something. Lots of folders and a fallen shelving unit. And we can go up this ramp here, this ramp of rubble, this rubble ramp, and take a look at this crumbled bit of see outside. It's kind of trippy because it's I'm looking at the floor, looking at walls, and looking at ceiling panels and pipes and things like that. But, oh, this is pretty cool, pretty freaky. Walking on the windows here. The windows, a little pane of glass between us and a very, very long drop. Sorry, there's some noise going on in my apartment right now, so I might have to cut some of this out. We'll see. There's always noise going on in my apartment, isn't there? I'm a broken record about this. I'm always going, oh no, somebody's turning on that one machine. Oh no, somebody's running around upstairs. I do really like this map though. I love the concept of it, this section of skyscraper that's fallen down onto its side. It's pretty cool up there, all the various floors ripped apart. So let's keep exploring, walking down this way. All the pipelines, the pipes all broken, the fires that have ignited around the skyscraper, walking across all the windows. Oh, I like this area. You come out into this, I'm not sure if this is like an elevator shaft or just a sort of decorative exterior glass feature, but it's pretty cool. It has this bubbled outward glass here, this sort of rounded glass. Bienvenida. Sumaco. Oh, and there's actually moving cars down there. Guess you can't shut down the city just because a skyscraper collapses, but it seems a little unsafe. I would think that they should close off that road. It's a little close to the falling building, you know. Yeah, I think this is an elevator shaft. Looks like it might be. Because of all the, what's that? Vamos a hacer esto. Baseball sign. Oh, that's that same sign from earlier. Come on, Caracas. I can't read that. We've seen that one before. Del Verano. Come on. What's that mean? Come on. Oh, there's another shaft above us. That's cool. Obviously Ghost was, I think kind of a failure, you know, in terms of the Call of Duty franchise, financially. This was sort of kicking off what would be, I think, a difficult time for Call of Duty. A bunch of the games after this, including this one, oh, I love this roof here, would be either kind of critical or commercial flops, usually both. And I don't know where Call of Duty really stands right now. Like, I haven't kept up with the sales numbers. Has it, like, steadily declined? I mean, they have Warzone, which is a pretty big battle royale, I think. What's going on with CoD these days? I mean, it's obviously a juggernaut. So even if it's been slowly declining, it's still Call of Duty, right? I mean, just on the name recognition alone, you should be able to kind of make a killing with yearly releases. But I don't know. I'd be curious to check out how CoD is doing these days. But I think we'll find a nice spot here on our little crumbling skyscraper here. A nice little vista that we can stop at, and I'll look at the other side here. This building that we got caught on as our skyscraper fell and got stuck between the two buildings. Yeah, we can wrap up our little journey into Call of Duty Ghosts. And I hope that you enjoyed checking out this game with me. I certainly enjoyed looking through some of these old maps, bringing up some old memories of playing on them. This is the first time that I've revisited Call of Duty Ghosts since it came out. I mean, I of course played it for a number of months, played the multiplayer. I played some of the DLCs, but I think after the first or second DLC pack, I kind of fell off and didn't return, so I guess that would be 2014 was probably the last time that I played this game. So 11 years ago. It's always fun to return to these games. I really enjoy making this series and just reminiscing a little bit about these old experiences. I don't think that we should give in to nostalgia in the sense of glamorizing the old days too much, you know. You shouldn't feel depressed when you get nostalgic. I think it's okay to feel a little bittersweet about times gone by, of course, but I think what I hope these videos do is just remind us of, happy memories. But also knowing that there's lots of good now and in the future, right? This is just meant to be a little tour through our pasts. Or if you weren't there at the time, then just a little interesting look at something that you didn't experience directly. But anyway, I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you next